Hi, this is Everett, Everett's Watercolors. And welcome to Simply Drawing with Everett. I'll be 7:30 p.m. On Thursday. Here I am. This is a live broadcast, and I'll be broadcasting live to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and later on to Instagram. And I'm in the studio tonight with my wife, Gloria.
Welcome, everyone.
And she'll be monitoring the broadcast, also the chat room. Chat room's live, so if you have any questions or comments during the broadcast, put them down there on the chat, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also put a comment on the end of the video when it's rebroadcasted. So tonight I'm going to do a drawing, and I'm going to do a lantern. Let me go over to my drawing table and let me get started. Take your overhead camera. Okay, now over here to the right, you can see I've got this lantern, and I've had it for a long time. And I'll show you this. I got it set up in my display in my what I call my still life setup, and I took a photo of that, and there you see it. And over here is my drawing piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 drawing paper, and I'm going to start out with a 2B lead pencil, and I'm going to start sketching. Now the first thing I do is I start with a general outline. Get a general outline and a general shape that I want to. Now I look at the object and do a little study, and you can see it's circular, a lot of circular shapes, circular top and circular body, and then it has a couple side arms and so forth. But the main shape is circular. So I'm going to start out here at the very top here of the paper, and I'm going to leave room for the handle to carry it. So I'm going to start about right here. And I'm going to get that circular top in. It's like an oval. And I'm going to just do a little contour drawing here, just to get some major shapes in. And then I'm going to go right down the shape. There's another shape here, circular. And I'm going to go right down the shape itself, another circular item. And I'm drawing it very lightly here, and I'll get into a little bit darker when I get started here. Here's another circular shape, and I come on down. There's also a smaller area. This has got a circular, and it's a little wider, and I'll draw that in. So I'm just getting some parameters here, and there's a couple slots here, and I'll put those in. A couple slots, and then this comes down. There's a small circular shape there, and now I get to the actual lantern section. It's like a little glass dome or a little glass shape. I'll get one side, I'll get the other. So I'm roughing this in right now, getting a kind of idea of the shape I'll be in. This is a little narrower than that. Okay, then it's circular at the bottom. Then there's a base. There's a small base to it at the bottom. That's a circle. It's an arc. And now around the base itself, see this. There's also an inside here. There's an inside shape here. The bottom itself has got a larger base, so it goes around, and it'll come around. The point here, I'll get the center of it. I'll make sure that's about equal on both sides. That's about right. Okay. Then I'll come down with another shape here, and another circle. The very base of it's even a little bit wider, so it arches out. Come down to the bottom. See, and I'll get one more. One more little edge on there. One more little edge. Okay, so let me double check my shapes now. I've got pretty well got it down here. Now I'll be making some corrections to it as I go down, but I want to get the basic parameters in there. Let me show you up real close. All right, there's my sketch. And it's just a rough outline. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and let me add in some more things. I've got more detail. Let me double check my parameters here. At this side here, this is around This comes down. The shape here, the shape here, and it's centered in the center. Which comes around here. And then the globe itself, draw that in. And this comes down at the base. There's a base along here. And this comes down. And I get to draw the bottom in, draw the bottom base, the baseline, straight down. I'm kind of redrawing some of the same thing, but double checking my size. So I'm looking at the object, and then I'm coming to the drawing board, and I look at the object, and then I draw what I see. I'm using a contour drawing by looking at the object and then draw what I see. Okay. Now there's a couple wires here that around the globe. Let me put those in. This one curves up and goes around the glass. This kind of holds the globe inside. This comes down and comes on this side. And I can see the inside of the lantern right here. Okay. All right. And then let's draw, I'm going to draw the sides in. I go up here to the top here, and I've got the handle that comes down. I'm starting on the right side. The handle comes down, and it lands about right here on the edge of there. And then I get the thickness of it. It curves down. Okay, then there's one on the other side. And this is a handle. I don't call it a handle, it's just part of the frame of the lantern. This will come down here. It'll curve in. And it comes down here. Goes back up. Get that in. Okay, so I've got, you can see I've got the basic shapes there almost. It'll smooth it out when I get do some of the final drawings on this. It's might be a little bit cockeyed, but a drawing is not a perfect sketch. It's going to be a simulation. Now there's also a wire handle here that comes up to the edge, and it curves in and goes up, and it comes to a little curve up here to the top, and then there's a wire on the other side, a handle. This is what you would carry it with. This is the carrying handle here. So it's a small wire, and it goes up. It'll meet in the center. There, that's about it. Okay, all right. So I'm going to switch pencils now. I'm going to use, I moved to the 4B pencil. It's a little darker. So now I'm going to start getting a little darker now in my drawing. Get that top in, circular shape, and I'm going to get the next layer, the next circular shape down at the bottom, below that, and it comes down, and then there's another circular. These are all circles, or actually arcs. You're only seeing parts of them. About the same width there. Okay, then there's a lip on this one, a little lip on this one. I'll draw that in. There's a wider spot, there's a wider section here. And this the one that has these there's a little openings. There's a little hole there. There's a little slot over here. And then the base of that has another circle. These are all circular shapes. And then the globe itself now. I'll get the globe. And let me see. I'll just try to make this a little bit better. A little bit better shape. Make sure it's not too off angle there, trying to make it nice and equal. Again, observation, that's what I'm using, just observing what I see and drawing what I see. And this has a circular base to it here at the bottom. And then the base itself, starts here. And make sure, what I'm doing now is make sure they're both equal or even. And then I'm going to come around here. This is the circular base. And then bring it down. Give it some thickness. And then bring the next one in.
We have a comment. This is a good example of practicing circular
Oh, absolutely.
drawing.
Yes, circular drawings. This is a circular object, so that's the main shape tonight is a circle. And then these handles, I'm going to double check my handles here now. It starts up here. I call them handles, but these are the sides of the lantern. And this will come down pretty close to the globe there. I'll call it the globe, where the light comes out. This actually holds a little candle. It's got a little candle in the center. This is not a gas. This is not a kerosene lantern or anything like that. This is a little replica of a kerosene lamp, which I was raised on a farm, and we had kerosene lamps out in the barn with the horses and actually with the chickens and so forth. And we'd use those at nighttime to light the barn up. Gasoline light. Now this side over here. So I'm very familiar with kerosene lanterns, but this is just a simulation of a lantern. But it's got the same shape. It looks exactly like they do. And of course, if you see pictures of them, this is pretty close to the actual object. This holds a little candle base. This comes up here like this. And that one here. Now, get that one along here. Now I want to get this inside a little bit better shape in here. This comes around. This is where the candle sits in. This is actually the candle, which is where the wick would be in an actual lantern. To be a wick down here. And these wires come down. This holds the globe together. Gives it a little stability. They come down like that. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do now, I'll show you that up close. It's looking pretty good right now. Okay. Then I'll get these wires in up here. This is actually the carrying handle for this particular lantern. Try to make this a little bit equal up here. Make this curve a little bit equal. And what I'll do is I erase the bad line and keep the good line. And bring this down.
What pencil are you using?
I'm using a 4B pencil, 4B lead, a little bit thicker, a little bit darker. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start shading in the shapes here. So I'm going to use a black 6B. Got a little stronger lead, a little darker lead, so I'm going to use that to shade in the shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in I'm not going to color this one's green on the screen, but I'm going to use the black lead to screen that in and get the other side. And when you see, once I see the shading here, the thing will start coming alive. The drawing itself is just a skeleton defining the shape and the outline. But when you start shading in, then the object starts to become alive shape. And these circular tops here, I can just go ahead and circle those in. And I'll use a blender too. I'm just going to get the graphite on here. You get the graphite on, and then this part here was clear. I'm going to leave this. There's a couple openings here on this one. The very top, there's an opening up here, so I'll leave that open. And that's where the actual, even in this candle here, this is where the fume or in order for a candle to burn or for a wick to burn, it has to have oxygen. So you have to have a flow of air coming in to burn. If you don't have oxygen flowing in, you don't have a light. It won't burn without a light, without oxygen. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here and put the graphite around this. This will start looking a little bit more closed in as soon as I get this graphite on. Then I'll blend it with the blender and I'll start making a little more shape here. And I'll get this one in. I'm going to leave some white showing to show like an edge, maybe a little highlight or something on these shapes. These are wires. This is also solid down here. And the base is solid. So I'll go ahead and shade that in. Okay, let me go down to the next level. I'm going to leave a little bit of edge there to show a highlight, and also to show a little bit of definition of that particular shape there. And in the bottom, so I'm really moving pretty fast here, but I want to get a simulation here of this particular drawing. Now let me go ahead and shade this in. I'm going to use the blender now. This is a blending stump, which you see me use this quite often if you follow my videos. I use a large blending stump here to blend the graphite. And now this will make what the blender does, smooths out the graphite so you have a more smoother surface. I'm blending the graphite on top of the paper. Actually pressing the graphite into the paper is what happens. And it spreads the graphite. The same thing happens to colored pencils. If you have colored pencils, it does the same thing. The blender will push the media into the paper. Either a graphite pencil or a colored pencil works the same way, just a different media. And get that a little darker. Now I'll blend this side over here. And we'll come down the bottom of this section here. And smoothing out, I think it'll look a little bit more like the object itself now that we get the graphite blending, and put little dark marks here on the paper. Okay. Okay, I'll bring it up real close there so you can see it. That's pretty close to what I wanted to show. And so what I'll do now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to make some more I think I'll also erase some of this. I've got a little bit of section I want to take out some of the graphite. Just so I'm using using a pencil eraser. Erasing some of that. I'm trying to clean up some of the edges now. And when you're doing this by yourself, you can be more careful with how you blend it and so forth. This is more of a demonstration to show you what to do, how to do it. Now I'm going to go in now with a pencil and I'm going to smooth out some of these edges again. And you do this as many times as you want to, until you're happy with what the results are. You can just keep blending and keep adding more graphite and make it darker, smooth out the edges. Trying to make this a little bit smoother so you can see a nice, at least a better example here. This part here I want to have, there we go, that's it, okay. This comes down straighter. And I lost my little opening here. There's two little holes in there that show it. And it's just, those are just the holes where the air is flowing in and out. Yeah, you also have to have a pathway for the burning fumes that come off of a candle or off of a wick. So it's quite an engineering practice. I'm sure whoever developed the first one had to build a couple of these before they got the one they liked that worked the best. But now this is a good example of what they should do, how they should work. Let's smooth this one out. Yeah, it's looking a little bit. Once I get this nice and dark now, it's looking a little bit better along the edges. Okay. I'll continue to smooth out the edge here, and just working on the edges, getting a little more graphite in there, spreading get a little bit darker. This is the second layer I put on here. The first layer, I just went in roughly. Now I'm going in a little more, get a little closer to the edges, make it a little smoother, make it a little neater. Okay. You get these side handles. I guess you could call them side handles. I don't know what the actual name of this section here is. It's just this is part of the lantern. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, there's my drawing of the lantern, and it was a rough one. I mean, that if you took more time on it, if I took more time on it, we could be very careful on that. But if you look at the photograph and you look at my drawing, I pretty well captured the shape and the detail. I did another one earlier. I could show you what I did on that one. This is basically, it's the same drawing. Here's one I did a little bit earlier. It turned out about the same way. So this was an earlier drawing here that I did for practice, because I was practicing the shapes and the sizes and so forth. And you can see that one turned out okay. I like that handle goes up to the wire and so forth. And it's okay. And then this is the one. This is the one I did tonight here, very quickly. Of the lantern. I'm holding it up there so you can see. And you look at the photograph and you look at the lantern. And I left a lot of white space here around them so you could see the difference in the levels. There's several sections that are rounded on the lantern. Okay. All right. Let's go back to my. Let's go back to my main camera. Hi. Okay. Hi, Brazen Hearted. Hey, good to see you again. Nice to see you checking in, and I'll see all the other people who are going to be signing in. Now, what I want to show you, I got the actual lantern. This is what I was using to draw from, okay? This is the actual lantern I had. It measures about 8 inches tall, so it's not very big, okay? And I've had this around in my studio for a long time. This is the first time I've drawn it, and I decided, tonight would be a good example for drawing a circular object and so forth. And you can see the detail on that. It's pretty good. It's like a little replica of an actual gasoline, kerosene lantern. And this has a little place for a candle here in the bottom. And it lifts up. It lifts up just like a real has all the moving parts of a regular lantern. In fact, it has this little turn knob over here. This little turn knob on here. It lifts it up and so forth. It's amazing. It's quite a replica of the actual lantern. So that's what I was drawing from, is sitting here in front of me as I was drawing. I was using this. And I had a photograph on the screen so you could see what I was drawing also. Okay. So I would recommend you take a look at my video and do a replay. Replay the video, get your sketch paper out, and do a little drawing. See and put it on my Facebook page, Everett's Watercolors Art Group on Facebook. And I'd love to share it with you. Anything you have or any questions you have about doing the drawing. Again, if you have any recommendations for something you want to see me draw, then the door is open. I can draw anything. I always said that I can draw anything. And really, if you really look at it, you can draw anything. It's just a matter of sitting down and analyzing the shape, and then starting at one point, and then add another line and keep adding and adding, and then using the observation skills and do contour drawing, and you can come up with a shape that's right there in front of you. You can draw whatever is in front of you and use your eyes and look at it. So I'm going to be back next week at 7:30 p.m. on Simply Drawing with Everett, and hope to see you then. In the meantime, give me a thumbs up and a like. I really appreciate those. They help on my rating. And then I'll be back on Thursday at 2 o'clock p.m. with Everett's Watercolors. I do a watercolor demonstration there and do a little discussion. And then on Sunday, I put out a little video called Anyone Can Draw with One Line. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy that. It takes me 5 or 10 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. And I take different objects, and I show you how to draw it with just one line. A continuous line drawing. And it gets a little bit, not difficult, but it takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of observation skills, again, to make the drawing work and make it look like something, okay? And again, we're not trying to draw everything. You don't try to draw everything perfectly, exactly as you see. You draw it in terms of it represents what you see. I call it representation art. It represents what you see. It's like painting. It represents what you see, what you focus on. So don't be so critical about how it works out or how it looks. If it looks something you were proud of, if it looks something like what you saw and what you felt about, then you're successful. So I'll see you all next week. You all stay safe. The weather's nice, so get outside and do some drawing. I am. I will do some drawing and some painting this weekend. Looking forward to it. And I got some homework to do. So you all stay safe, and I'll see you next week on the next live video. You all take care.